Well, a bit of a frustrating one today. This is the instant match reaction to Ipswich 2, Aston Villa 2. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're literally, I think, 10 away from 4,700 on the road to 5K. Get your comments in, your thoughts on today's performance. I'll get into it. I thought it was a bit sluggish. I was waiting for one of our players to take responsibility. I didn't see that, didn't see enough urgency, didn't see enough people taking people on. And yeah, in the end, fair play to Ipswich. They absolutely deserve their point. Probably deserve more out of it if you look at the chances. And Villa will be, I think, happy to go out of there with a point. I think Portman Road is going to be a tough place for a number of teams to go to. But that being said, I thought it was a disappointing performance for Villa today. Too many players off the pace, too many players waiting for others to do something. And then in the end, the opportunity to win the game passed us by, and we didn't have enough. Starting lineup, very good. A team that should really be dominating this game. Martinez in goal, Ezri Konsa at right back, Diego Carlos and Pau Torres at centre back, and Luca Dean at left back. Yuri Tielemans and Amadou Onana in midfield. Ramsey, Rogers, and then Bailey out on the right, and Watkins up front. And to be honest, when we started the game, really positive in possession, keeping the ball, but not threatening, just probing. And you think, okay, that's great, quieten the crowd down. But we didn't really have any opportunities from that. We didn't really get in behind them. I think Yuri Tielemans had a shot that went over, and that was about it. And Ipswich actually looked much more threatening on the break, and they would have seen that Villa weren't necessarily getting in behind. They were too safe with their passes and thought, you know what, we can go at them, we can go at them. And Hutchinson and Delap started to get into the game more and more. Not so much on the other side, Ogbenny, and Jack Clark was picking up little areas, getting the ball in little areas, and it was them that scored first. Down that right hand side again, Jack Clark puts the ball across, cuts it back, and Delap hits the shot maybe a little bit early. Maybe it goes through bodies. I think there was elements where we could have got the ball clear. We didn't. Hits the ball early, and Emi Martinez gets down to it and really should be saving it. I mean, he gets a hand to it and it goes into the net, and he really, really would be very disappointed to not save that. And Ipswich go 1-0 up, and they definitely were the more threatening side, and probably then could have gone on to extend the lead. Jack Clark had a header just over. They were really threatening us on the break, getting beyond our high line. And I mean, Delap, I'll talk about him later, but he was all over. He was holding the ball up, he was getting in behind and really giving us a torrid time. And look, we know that they're a championship side that's come up to the Premier League, so sometimes they're going to make mistakes, and that was how Villa got the goal. We had a little bit of play down that left hand side. Ollie Watkins getting through, tries to take it round Jacob Greaves, who does win the ball and inexplicably plays the ball across his box, and Morgan Rogers picks it up, plays a nice, really nice 1-2 with Ollie Watkins, receives the ball back. He's got loads of Ipswich players around him, just disguises his finish into the bottom corner, ice cold finish. And yeah, if Cole Palmer can do it, Morgan Rogers can do it better. But yeah, fantastic finish. And that was probably the best bit of play from Villa, and that seemed to settle them down a little bit. Had a few nice passes and a few nice passages of play. And then the one time we get the ball down the right hand side, all game, Leon Bailey's been taking it down the outside, then coming back. This time he actually goes round the outside, puts a wonderful ball in with his right foot, his weaker right foot, on a plate for Ollie Watkins to head it down into the goal. And that's 2-1 Villa, and two shots, two opportunities, two goals. And you think, right, go on and win this game, go and put it to bed. But we don't do it. We just try and control it again. We try and sit back, and we're not looking in behind for Ollie Watkins. We're taking too long on goal kicks and just trying and just killing our momentum. Not only does it, I get why they're doing it. It wants to kill momentum from Ipswich, but it kills our momentum. And Ipswich are the team that come through. Calvin Phillips has a great effort from the edge of the box that Emi Martinez tips wide, and then they get through. I don't know how Pau Torres is dragged right out of position. We give the ball away. They play it through to Delap. He's one-on-one with the keeper, tries to tuck it in the bottom corner, and Emi Martinez sticks a leg out and he saves it. And we managed to go in at half time 2-1. And you think, right, half time 2-1, we're winning. great stuff. And let's come out in the second half and really sort of put them to the sword. We know what they've got to offer. We'll be a bit sharper second half. And we came out second half, a couple of little efforts here and there, nothing really to write home about at all. And gradually, you could see Ipswich starting to get more into the game. We were fairly in control, and you could see it meandering along. He makes his substitutions. He brings John Duran on, and he brings Jaden Philogene on as well. And they don't really have the desired effect. It goes 4-4-2, and we kind of leave ourselves a little bit open in midfield. Morsy's doing very well in that midfield. Phillips is doing very well in that midfield, just stopping us from getting into those little half spaces and picking up the ball and then turning us really quickly. And Morsey, to be honest, was absolutely so lucky to be on the pitch. He puts a foul in on two fouls in the second half, and I don't know how he manages to stay on the pitch. One on Philogene, stamps on his foot. I can't remember who the other one was against, but how he doesn't get a booking, a second booking. Maybe the first one was a little bit unfortunate that he got a booking for, but he should be off the pitch. But nonetheless, we should be winning that game. We should be controlling that game. And Ipswich get the equaliser. Ezri Konsa tries to play the ball down the right-hand side. He goes forward with the ball. He's in a really good position. He could play a simple ball out to Philogene out wide. And sometimes Ezri Konsa has this tendency, I don't know whether he doesn't necessarily trust the younger players as much as he should do, but he could play Jaden Philogene in down the right-hand side and leave him one-on-one with Leif Davis, but he doesn't. He tries to play a tougher ball in behind the defence into Ollie Watkins. It doesn't work. Greaves gets the ball, clears it. It falls into midfield. They play over the top because Delap's peeled off Carlos into the space that Consa's left, and then we just let him go. And he carries on and carries on, cuts inside, and then he absolutely does Diego Carlos. All ends up little step over, shimmies to the outside, and then finishes it in the bottom corner. And it's a great finish for him. And he gave Carlos an absolutely torrid time all afternoon, and he had a really, really good game. Probably the best player on the pitch. 2 goals for him. Fantastic performance, and it no more than Ipswich deserved. They really did very, very well, and they really did frustrate us. They really did, win that midfield battle in a lot of areas. They didn't let us in behind. They defended resolutely when they needed to. They threw their bodies in the line, and the equaliser was, absolutely deserved. So that was a great goal. Villa tried to spring into life a little bit. Matson comes on, Buendia comes on, and Ross Barkley comes on, kind of to back to the formation that we had before. Ollie Watkins and Duran were playing up top in that second half, and it didn't work as much as maybe previous game against Wolves. So he goes back to, Buendia just off of Duran, bringing Barkley into maybe a bit more midfield control, but it was probably a little bit too late. Barkley has an effort from 25 yards. That's a really good effort on target that Muric saves. But apart from that, we had nothing else. A couple of little passes through that maybe John Duran didn't quite get on the end of. Emi Buendia had a free kick as soon as he comes on that he took an age to take, but ends up going harmlessly over the bar. And it was actually Ipswich that finished the game the stronger, with 3 corners in a row that we really had to do well to hold on and clear. So, look, 7 points from the last 3 games. 5th in the table, I think 2 points off the top. We're still in a very, very good position, but it does feel like, a missed opportunity, especially when we didn't do ourselves justice. Jacob Ramsey, why is he not taking the ball on? Why is he not taking players on when he was doing that against young boys? And we thought, this is the old Jacob Ramsey back. The last couple of games, every time he goes forward, he's cutting back every time. Just go forwards, take responsibility. Amadou Onana not pushing, not running with the ball forwards, not striding through like he was doing before. Morgan Rogers was getting frustrated. Just carry the ball, carry the ball. Leon Bailey, the one time you go around the outside, you put a cross in and we score. Why didn't you do that more? Jaden Philogene, when you come on, you're trying all these little step overs and trying to drag the ball back. Just run with the ball. I don't understand what it is. Ollie Watkins, the countless runs he was making off the shoulder. Same with John Duran in the second half. No one was trying to play them through. Not one player. Every single time we looked like we were getting through, we just cut back and go back to the defence and try and play it across. I don't understand why we weren't doing that today. And it was really, really, really frustrating. All it needed was someone to just take responsibility, take a shot, beat a man. instead of trying to pass the buck and pass it on to someone else. And it's these games where we really miss the likes of John McGinn, the likes of Tyrone Mings, who can drive the team forward. I didn't see anybody grabbing someone and telling them what to do. I didn't see, anyone sort of giving anyone a bollocking for saying, come on, you've got to put the effort in. And I mean, the effort was there. We were putting tackles in, we were competing, but just take responsibility, show that you're a top four player, put the game to bed. Someone put that chance away, or just take a shot from 25 yards, or do something a little bit different. Jacob Ramsey, take the player on and then cut inside. He had one effort when it went back to 2-2 that he ballooned over, which he really should have done better with. But yeah, he was really frustrating me. Onana, I want to see him striding through the midfield. Leon Bailey was extremely frustrating today. Apart from the assist, he didn't do anything at all in the game. Philogene didn't have the impact. It's difficult for him when coming on. John Duran, like I say, was making runs. Ollie Watkins was making runs, but still not that sharpness, not that step, or drop the shoulder and push off and shoot. Not good enough all round today. And full credit to Ipswich. I thought they were excellent, but if we really want to be challenging for those top four positions, you've really got to be winning those games. And it puts a little bit of pressure now onto Manchester United next Sunday. We've got to get a win there. Obviously, in between, we've got the massive game with Bayern Munich in midweek, and maybe the players had that on their mind a little bit, but you've got to take care of business in these games. Anyway, 2-2, we'll take the point. It's a disappointing performance, but we'll definitely take the point. We didn't lose. Still keeps us in touch, and it takes us into Bayern Munich in midweek and Manchester United next week. We'll be back later on for a full match reaction with the boys, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Like I say, get your comments in below. Who do you think played well? Who was man of the match? I think it's a difficult one. I don't think anyone played particularly well. Maybe Morgan Rogers for getting his goal, and maybe looking at the most threatening out of all the players, possibly him. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like I say, we'll be back later. We've got Talking Tactics coming up this week. We've got match preview for Bayern Munich. We've got so many shows coming up for you in the week. So stay tuned to the channel. Thank you for watching. And as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.